on this podcast, Keely, we try and talk about training and science behind training as little as possible because
Mm.
I just think it's boring personally. I'm more about the personality, who you are. And one of my bugbears in the sport at the moment is that as fans, we just don't really get access to our stars.
Mm.
I've seen personally a lot of personality from you in your interviews post race, and especially when,
Really?
yeah, genuinely.
Well,
And
that's
I
fun.
so we saw a lot of emotion post Istanbul European indoors. We saw
Oh,
your competitive nature in your interview post Commonwealth Games when you took the silver there. Do you wish there was more opportunity for athletes of your level to show who they truly are to the wider public?
Um, I think so. Well, there's two minds about that because I think yeah, it would be great, people that wanna listen and hear and about us and what we do and our lives and what it's actually like being. Because I think people have this idea of what it's like being a professional athlete, but it's not. I don't know. I don't think it's all that. If you get me, what the idea people have,
Mm-hmm.
it's like some people say to me like, "Oh, so can you just not do anything? Like you can't even social with your friends?" And I'm like, "What do you think? I'm a robot that sits at home."
Waiting for my
Like
next
that's not.
run.
Yeah, like that's not the case. And I just think it'd be interesting to go into because everyone trains differently as well. Like it's such a diverse, complex sport that would be very interesting. But it also opens up the door to a lot of criticism, a lot of opinions that sometimes you just don't want to hear.
Yeah,
So
that's
I
fair
think
drop.
it's who wants to open that door.
Yeah,
You see it with the ones who are most active on Instagram. I'm not particularly that active on Instagram. Sometimes I'll post like 10 stories and then I'll just go silent for like a month. I won't post anything because I'm just not too bothered about it. And I'm not really that accessible on Instagram, to be honest. I think compared to some other athletes that post a lot of their training, that post a lot of this and that, and I think either or is great, whatever you want to do. But it just depends what you want to, door what you want to open to. You know what I mean? Like I've seen some athletes post their requests and some people saying some really weird things that is you just sometimes you just think, well, I don't need to see that. Do you know what I mean? Like why
yeah,
I
that's
don't want to
fair.
open
Yeah,
my DMs and see that. So yeah, I think it depends what you want. But I do think it would be great to because you had this whole like drive to survive thing for athletics that's
mm.
not going ahead now, which I think is a shame because there's definitely a lot of personality in athletics. And I even said even if you was to follow the team to the senior champs, you would get such a different insight into what it's actually like to what people think it's like. Like I think people have this idea that everyone's just like mega focused. Like everyone is focused and everyone's on their job, but people be socialized. There's drama.
Yeah.
There's this and that. People upset. People really happy. People excited. People down. Like it would be very interesting to watch.
Yeah, it was a shame to hear that that got rejected. I think that's a conversation around benefits to the broadcaster and stuff. But I think you may see, well, what we're trying to do is, and what we will do, we would love to document more behind the scenes of athletes' lives. Obviously, yeah, they go and do a session, but what are they doing in and around a session? Like, who are they as a person? What is their life like at home? Generally, for people like us and people that are passionate in the sport that want to do that, it's all budget and resource dependent. But I think like governing bodies and the people that do hold the funds have to take more responsibility because like we've seen it with the personalities coming out with some of the races overseas with like personalities like Noah Lyles and Grant Holloway, and I think Mo doing more stuff on Nike's socials. Like they've got personality. You guys have got great personalities and stories, and I hope we see more people willing to share it.
I think it's just also it is just budget and
Mm,
we're not tennis. And I remember someone, and it's a shame because I remember back in 2021, and I think Emma Raducanu had just won that US Open, and I just won the Diamond League. And someone put a tweet on about the money
mm,
the money comparative, and they were like, we were the same age. I think she's a bit younger than me, and she just won 2 million, and I just won 30K.
let's go.
Obviously, yeah, obviously 30K for 19 was obviously insane. That was a sick day. But when you're seeing 2 million in another sport,
Yeah.
we're just like, what? Like, how is that there? And to me, I almost think we're going backwards.